Hi, hello, g'day, kia ora, welcome to the studio. I'm Paula from Moxy Mojo, and thank you for joining me for the next prompt for Junk Journal January for 2024. So today's prompt, oops, and I forgot to tick off yesterday's. One day I'm going to learn. So today's prompt is pattern. So I've been thinking about this for a wee while and trying to come up with, well, what did I want to do for a pattern? And then it suddenly occurred to me, or I had the bright idea, we'll see, time will tell, that what about making a stamp, a handmade stamp, that I can then use to make a pattern. Now my page is only kind of small, so I thought, okay, well, I can either, whoops, there goes my window, carve one big pattern or do a small one and just repeat it over and over again. And I mean, that tends to be what people think of when they think of a pattern. It's a repeating thing. We've got kind of a smallish page, so I've pulled out the supplies of stamping material that I've got. Now this was a pack of erasers that I got from Daiso. It's basically 135 grams of offcuts. Now quite a few were this size, like what I'd call standard eraser size, but there were also some that were non-standard. So I've kind of used most of them, and these are the only two bits I've got left. But I thought that would be a good size to use, and that's what you can do if you don't want to go and fork out for some expensive stamping materials and you're just wanting to give it a go. Then buy some cheap erasers and use those, because they do the job just the same as the expensive stuff. So first thing to do is work out what your design size is. And so I'm using a scrap of copier paper, and I'm just going to line my eraser up and draw around it. So that way I know what size of it I've got for my design. So I'm going to sketch something. So I want to start it roughly halfway, and starting at the top, I want to maximize the usage that I get from the surface. And I find it's equal. I draw from both sides so I can get kind of the curve that I want, and then look at it from the other side and then work out where I want it to be. So I'm going to clean this line up a wee bit. So that's better. That's better. Okay, so now we've got to the top, and then I want to bring this down to about there. And now every man and his dog is flying overhead. Helicopters. You flew over before. Make up your mind, where are you going? It's not even a rescue one, so I could forgive them. Alright, now I'm going to, because I need this to be more than just a line, I'm going to draw in here. And so what I'm going to do is, this is a bit I'm going to carve out. I'm going to carve out this, and leave this curve here. Same with here, we're going to leave this bit there. And then we're going to bring it up here and end up, so even though it's going to be different with here, once we get to halfway, it's going to follow along there. So we need to clean that up. Clean that up. And there. So how does that look? Not bad. We'll see how it looks when it stamps out. So what I'm envisaging is that curve on that same line? Yep, should be. So clean that off. So now that I've got that, I'm gonna grab my scissors and trim out our pattern. Alright, so now what I want to do is grab some softer pencils. Where are we? So these are charcoal pencils, that's extra soft, that's medium, they should do. So now, there's a couple of ways of doing it. You can darken these lines and then draw over this completely, and then that'll trace the lines onto here. Or you can darken on this side and trace through and do it that way. So I think I'm gonna do this way. So nice and dark onto the back of this. So covering, making sure I've coloured in all that I need to. So I've just got to do this top portion. And extra dark because I want the design to go through. Right, so that should be enough hopefully, although I need to make sure which both sides I get right out to the sides, seeing as I'm using up pretty much the entire surface of this. So now, trying not to get black fingers everywhere, put this on here, and then you really want a sharp pencil for this. So hold it on. You can always tape it on with washi tape, which is what I might do. Don't blow away. This could take me a while to find the washi tape. There we go. So luckily with this design I can do the corners. So that's one. I lost the end again. Seriously, you'd think you'd learn by now, Paula. Alright, there we go. So, that should be enough, she says optimistically. Right, so here we go. We are going to, and I find it easier to draw curves this way around, so one, and I mean I can sort out any bits I'm not happy with in the carving part of it, the process. Well, hopefully I can. Oops, you lift it off. And there we go, and hopefully that design has come through. Yes, it has. It's kind of dark, but that's okay. I'm clearing the desk for a reason. Only because I don't want to have any distractions in the way. Now in this box we have, now this is called a baron. It's used for pressing down the paper onto the inked stamped surface to get a good impression. But inside it's also a storage area for the neck bit, and there are multiple blades in here. So there's 5 different blades. Now these two, this one I don't use very often at all, so that kind of stays in there. Now you need to check which is the end that you're looking at. So if I carefully shift them around here, and if I zoom in, whoops, wrong way, zoom in. So we'll shift that here, shift these across. Now hopefully you can see here, the end that's pointing towards me, these are all the same size. This end is different sizes, so this is narrower and then getting larger as we go through. So this bit is the cutting side, and this bit is very much like a nib for a fountain pen that slides into the handle, and we just put that on there first, and this tightens around it to keep it in place. So we're going to start off with the thin one, and when you look in there, if I hold it steady, you'll see the curved side. That's where I'm going to put this nib, and being very careful, don't push down from this side. So I'm doing it from the flat here, and then tighten this up, and now it won't come out. So that is this particular cutting blade. At least I call them cutting blades, attached. So for now we will put these in here, so that, and away, so that they can't cut any fingers. Now I'll just put that there. Now I also happen to have some of these. Now this was a set that I got from Typo, which is a stationery company here in New Zealand, and it came with 4 stamps, and they were like the rubber stamping portion, and it was attached to wooden blocks similar to the pre-made stamps that you can buy it had the wooden block with the rubber attached, but it was just a square of rubber, and so you were able to carve the design in that. So I've used all of those up, but I've still got the tools here. So they've got a sharp knife, they've got a small V small V and a large U. So I also use these from time to time. So you can get individual cutting tools like this, or you can get ones with multiple blades that you change on a single handle. So I'll try and keep this in close so you can see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to use this small cutting blade to cut out my design. So the first thing I try and do is establish the lines of my design. So I am cutting around. Now I cut very fine bits to start with. So I mean that bit there, can you even barely see it? It's if at best maybe a millimetre long or wide. So then I'm going to come up from the side, and there goes my window, and do this one. And you can see the bump there where I was interrupted. Then we're going to do the same on this side. That one's going a bit deeper. And the other thing is as I get more confident and used to doing this, because it's been a while since I've done it, I tend to cut deeper. Now, the one thing I am being very sure of is making sure that wherever my blade is pointing, there's nothing in front of it. So that if I slip as I'm cutting, I'm not going to get any flesh, because we don't want to see any blood in the middle of the video. So it's much easier to try and hold from behind. And you can actually get jigs to hold your rubber for while you're cutting. So now this one here, I've done one stripe to there, then I'm going to turn it around. I might have to close that window. The wind must be picking up. Problem is it doesn't have a latch. And there. So I do the curves in two portions so I can adjust my fingers so that they won't get cut. So now we're going to go this one here, and that's definitely deeper. Now this time I'm able to turn in one and cut round there. Now I've got to do this side, keep my finger out of the way, and there. Now that one there you can see a bit easier where I've carved it out. This one in here is quite a way out from that curve. So what I'm going to do now is clear up all these rubbish bits, get them out of the way, and now we're going to pull out. And now this is an old archival stamp pad, and so it hasn't got a lot of ink in it. I do have another jet black with plenty of ink in it. So I use this one where, but you know, it's great for when I'm making stamps because it's not picking up a lot of ink. So now, so I've stamped the top of that, and we can see that there's still all the outside there, but I want to see how we're looking and do I need to make any adjustments in my lines. So I've stamped it onto just some white copy of paper, and there it is, and that's what we're coming up with. So I can I've got to make my curve seem like it's joined around there. This one here I'm happy with. So this line here I'm happy with. What I need to do is slim this around so that that side is joined. At the moment it looks like there's a bit missing off the side here. This inner curve here also looks good, so I need to bring this side in. That one's not too bad, but I need to make it line up to here, and then this bit here needs to slim down quite a bit. But other, you know, for a starter, I'm really pleased with it. I'm going to keep carving away at this, and I will come back to you once I've got it just about looking or looking how I want it to, and then we will go on to the stamping and making the pattern. Okay, so there's been a lot of tidy up between here and this is where we are now, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but there are a few little wee marks that just need tidying up. So we will take a quick look at these and get them sorted, hopefully. So that's that one. Then we had that's on the bottom, and I'm back using the thin one that I first started on because these are some pretty narrow bits that we're having to pull out now. So that's that. There was a little bit here on the tidy up the point. Yep. I'm just not sure about that bit there. It's probably okay, but we'll clean it up. And then we're looking at bits in here. So just cleaning these up. Hopefully that got them all then. Alright, just do a little bit more there, just to be sure. And a little bit there. Don't know what you are, so we'll take you out as well. Okay, right. One more scoop over this side. Alright, okay, we'll clean that lot. Let's have a look. See if we've got our finished piece. Our finished stamp. Just that little wee point I'm not happy with. Okay, so we've got our stamp. Do we want to, let's just try, I want to try something on here first, so we'll flip this over. This is just a scrap piece of presentation copy of paper. And look at that. Isn't that stunning? Amazing that it came from that. Something that simple. Okay, so right, now let's just pick up this little bit of rubber that's been annoying me. Alright. Now, we shall get the good ink and get the book, well, the junk journal. And see if we can come up with that. So we want it to be, I'm just wanting to get a kind of flat surface that's about even. Yeah, I don't think I want, no, I think I'd rather have that page, those 2 pages there. Or 2 or 1. Oh, that seems flatter. Stamp. Ink. Ink. Stamp. Get it right, Paula. Okay. So we're going to do one of those right in the middle. And hope for the best. Okay, here goes nothing. Alright, so we're there, and we're going to do it down a little bit. Nice. Not quite sure where that little wee bit on the side came from, but we can live with that. Right, so shift this out the way because we need some desktop. Right, so turn the stamp round the right way helps. And take 2. Press and hold. Ta-da! Yes! Oh, I'm so happy! Happy, happy, happy! Yes! Look at that! It goes slightly to that way, but I can live with that. So, now, I'm going to do one more. Up here. Nice. This stamp is going to get used a lot. So now, scrap bit of paper, and we're just going to stamp off to clear away any excess ink. Or maybe that's where the ink's coming from. Okay, I might have to clear that bit up. Alright, you can go there, my lovely. Now, I need a tissue just to balance over there temporarily. And we need a black pen. Now, actually, you were supposed to be over there protecting. Okay. So actually, we want to do the title first. No, we'll do that part of it. So I'm indecision here, in case you hadn't worked out. Oh, I suck at drawing hearts and colouring them in. Oh, that is terrible, Paula. You seriously need to work on that. Right. So that's that. Okay, I like that. So put that away for now. Ooh, where'd I get that black from? But we're not quite finished. I just want to clear the black off the fingers. Oh, you really are a messy pup, aren't you? Oh, there was a wet wipe there already. Of course, it was nearly dry. Right, now, I think we want this. What else do we want? I think we want this. That's probably all we want, because that's all we've got handy. I don't know where my other watercolours are. Right, so this. Now, this was a recent purchase, like late last year, and I'm still getting used to it. So it is Gansai Tambi Starry Colours, and they're water-based pigments, and I got this off Amazon. Don't ask me any more than that, because I don't know at the moment, sorry. Now, what colour are we going for? Now, we know that we've used on the stamping part archival ink, so it is waterproof. So let's go for this one. So this is number 903, yellow gold. And I'm just doing very lightly over the top. I'm not worrying about whether or not I'm getting it. Oops, wrong one. Getting it exactly on the petal, because that's not the purpose of this. It is just about adding some colour. And here I'm now going intentionally over the outside. Oops, off their tissue. You're not wanted there, you're mainly just to protect. And now we're putting that side there into the water. Seriously, Paula, take you anywhere twice, don't we? Second time to apologise. Right, there we go. I am happy with that. I mean, I might do some doodling around the page, but mainly it was just about making that pattern. Whoops, flip everything out. We want you to go over there to dry. Oops, we should be putting you on a book page, which I've got one here. See what that looks like when it dries. Nice. Now I know that's kind of covered up the stamped pattern, but that's okay. It still looks pretty awesome. Right, now just cleaning my brush onto here. Alright, I think that's pretty much it. Put you over the side, clean you up. Alright, now I'll let that dry naturally, I think, but doesn't that look awesome? I love it. That was even, it's another one that's turned out even better than I had hoped for. I think that's just so cool. I hope you like it too. Oops, I know what we haven't done. We nearly forgot. This one, here we go. So we're looking at 14th of January 2024. Look at that, we remembered. Oh, hang on. We remembered that too. Aren't we clever? Okay, I will see you back in the studio tomorrow for our next prompt. Bye for now.